lot of names in the Bible for the being we call God with a capital G. Even in modern worship songs, we sing praises to Jesus Christ, the Holy One, Father, Jehovah, and Yahweh. And it's this last name, Yahweh, that I'd like to take a look at today. Who is God? Now, this is a very difficult question to answer in short order, and not only because God is so great and difficult to define. Think of it this way. Say someone pointed at Coralie and asked me, who is woman? Now, that's not great English or even politically correct, but it's a little similar. I could respond to that question by commenting on my relationship with her. She is my wife. I could respond with her name. Her name is Coralie. She is Coralie. Or I could respond by describing her attributes. Oh, she's beautiful, caring, funny. You see, and this gets even more difficult with God, which is both the way we refer to him and his category of being. But did you know that God does have a name, and that referring to him as God is actually very appropriate? Let's look in Exodus chapter 3. Here, Moses encounters God in a burning bush, and God sends Moses to free the people of Israel. Moses says, I will say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you. Now they may say to me, what is his name? What shall I tell them? God tells Moses that his name is I am, the Hebrew word Ehyeh. But since it's weird for Moses to say, I am has sent me, God tells him in the next sentence how he should rather say it. He is, or the Hebrew, Yahweh. This name for God is loaded with meaning. The claim of God's name being I am, or he is, indicates that he has always existed and always will, that his existence is completely independent of any other being. This name claims that God is singular in his power and presence, that there is no entity or being like him. As the Old Testament books were copied and written, Jewish teachers wanted to respect God's name and keep it holy. So they developed a visual picture by mixing their word for Lord, Adonai, with Yahweh, jumbling the letters together to form a little word picture. The goal was to cue readers not to speak God's name aloud out of reverence for him. This has actually even made it into our modern English Bibles. Take a look at Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 4 and 5. This is a prayer called the Shema, and it goes like this. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. Now, do you notice in the text that the word Lord is in all caps? Our English Bibles have that indicator that the Hebrew version of God's name is being used. Further, this prayer acknowledges God's singular existence in the phrase, the Lord is one. The Hebrew word for one can be used numerically, but it also is used to mean first, singular, and only. The meaning is that Yahweh alone is God. There is no being like him in power or holiness. And we echo this thought and concept in the Lord's Prayer when we say, hallowed be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done. We put God first in the highest place on the highest throne. This great, powerful, and mighty God, who is unlike any other, is also the one who came as Jesus Christ to save his people. And I hope that looking at God's name, Yahweh, has given you some new context of who God is. But more importantly, I hope that by discovering a little bit more about God, you can also know God personally a little bit more. We'll see you next time.
Hey everybody, got some recommendations for some games that we like to play as a family. The first one's called Exploding Kittens. It's a card game and it's really easy to play, and you can play probably anywhere from 8 to 10 years old and up. And it's good because it's a short game. Each round is short, and it's fun for a family to play. Another one would be Forbidden Island, which is a cooperative game, and again is good for all ages. And it's just you against the game trying to get off this island, collect some treasure and get off the island. And we really enjoy playing that one together as a family. A third game I would recommend that's really fun to play is called King of Tokyo. And it's just a neat little game to play. Again, short rounds, and you can play with 3 or 4 players, and maybe a 10-year-old and up can play it. It's a lot of fun to play. So if you need to borrow some of these games or you want to know more about them, just let me know and we can set you up. Have a great day.